I think people also forget that Bray Wyatt's last segment was with Hit Row.
It was. Bray Wyatt's last segment was Hit Row. Bray Wyatt loved working with Hit Row. We actually had this idea. Have you ever seen the movie Leprechaun in the Hood?
Can't say I have.
Great movie, right?
Well, maybe I'll watch it tonight with the wife.
You'll enjoy it. It's one of those movies that's so bad that it's good.
I love movies like that.
It's so bad that it's good. It's called Leprechaun in the Hood. Have you ever heard of the Leprechaun franchise?
Of course, yeah.
So the whole theory of this thing is the leprechaun has this magic flute, and if you get it, you get good luck. And
I've seen the news story about this.
Yes,
the leprechaun in Alabama.
Yeah, well, it's all over. It's
Okay.
a TV. It's
There's a viral YouTube news clip about this.
Yeah, but the movie series is there's 9 sequels or something. It's like a cult classic.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. So Leprechaun in the Hood, it stars Ice-T, okay?
Oh, wow.
And Ice-T finds this flute, which brings the leprechaun to life, right? But it brings you luck. But when you have the flute, the leprechaun wants his flute back, and if you don't give it to him, he's just trying to kill you and everybody that you're with, right? It's a comedy horror movie, right? And it's gruesome, but it's funny, right? So, the idea was, Bray hadn't done the Firefly Funhouse yet. And Bray loved this idea. Bo loved this idea because it was funny to me because when I pitched the idea to him, I was like, yo, have you guys ever seen Leprechaun in the Hood? And they're like, we love that movie. If you ever get a chance to interview Bo, please ask him about
Okay.
excuse me, please ask him about this because it was so funny. They were so into this idea. The idea was we stumble across the Firefly Funhouse, abandon all hope, ye who enter, right? And B-Fab's like, let's go in there. And I'm like, ain't you ever seen a scary movie? The brothers, that we need to stay away from there. All the brothers, we always die in these scary movies. I'm not finna go in there. She's like, well, was you scared? Me being the Top Dollar character, I ain't scared of nothing, right? So now we go in the Firefly Funhouse. We go in and there's cobwebs everywhere. All the puppets are laying down. It's clear that nobody's been there, right? And we're looking around and we see all the things, and then eventually I see Ramblin' Rabbit, Lucky Rabbit's foot, right? And I see Ramblin' Rabbit, and I'm like, oh man, I pick him up. And when I pick him up, everything starts going haywire, and it's, oh my God. We're like, we gotta get out of here. So we run away. It's like a Scooby-Doo movie. So we run away, and as we're running away, it's just Sister Abigail doll, just red eyes glowing, standing up it's, giving you spooky vibes.
Yeah.
So then, just like they did with LA Knight, LA's in the talking and saying, I'm not scared, blah, blah, blah. And then spooky Bray Wyatt face or spooky Uncle Howdy, you know what I'm saying, in the background. And he's stalking us. And eventually, Bray comes to us as humanized Bray with the sweater. And he's like, hey man, I just want Ramblin' Rabbit back. Please, just give me my rabbit back. And like I said, just like in the movie, it's brought us good luck. We're winning matches now. We're making more money. So I'm like, I ain't giving you nothing. You ain't gonna get this from me. You got to take this from me. So then now Bray starts hunting us down, just like he did LA Knight, right? And just like the Leprechaun does in the movie, right? So eventually the whole big thing was to build to a tag team match of Uncle Howdy and Bray versus Hit Row, in which B-Fab gets involved, and then Alexa Bliss shows up. So then now their whole crew is together, our whole crew is together, and then we have a big blow off like that. And I literally pitched the idea when I pitched it to creative, pitched the same idea. I was like, bro, we can lose every match. We're not saying this is our chance to look good against Bray Wyatt. We don't care about that. I would literally tell creative, I don't care if I ever win a match. Winning doesn't matter. It's the actual on-air screen time, being able to put things in motion, right? So they love this idea, but it never happened mainly because it was supposed to happen. Well, Bray was going to try to push for it. Don't know if it would ever happen, but he was going to try to push for it after WrestleMania. And then obviously he didn't end up being a part of WrestleMania. And then we all know, unfortunately, he passed. And that was sad for everybody, myself included. And, big shout out. I wish him nothing but the best to his family and JoJo and everybody, and his kids. But I would have loved to be able. That was one thing that it was cool to me that someone who I idolized as a wrestler, Bray Wyatt, that I pitched an idea to him and he absolutely loved it. Him and his brother were like 100% all in.
I think the fans know Bray, but not many fans get to know Windom.
No.
Who
No.
was Windom to you?
Bro, Windom to me was somebody who would like let me sit and learn. Like I would literally sit and just sit and watch him and LA Knight put matches together because they were, they did the match, obviously,
The Rumble.
Yeah. But they were doing like dark matches and house shows all the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to see how, because his character, Bray's character, Windom, his character was so much different than anything I ever done. So I wanted to see how he like implemented his thing into what he was doing. And then like he always had the nicest, like, I don't want to say disposition, but like he would go out of his way to make everyone around him feel comfortable. And like he knew I was a huge fan of his because a lot of the guys in the back knew me before I signed because I was at every WrestleMania and I was at all of the functions and the behind the scenes things because I had friends in the business and I was in the NFL, so I just had access via the NFL. And he never made me, Windom never made me feel like a fan. He made me feel like family. He made me feel like I belonged in a place where like a lot of times I didn't feel like I belonged. Not because I wasn't good enough, wasn't talented enough. It's just like sometimes in the wrestling industry, people like don't treat you how you feel like you should be treated. And Windom was never like that. Everybody loved Windom. He brought everybody together. He brought the locker room together. He was such a joy to be around. And he was great to bounce ideas off of because he is by far one of the greatest wrestling minds in the history of this business. And I don't think anyone would argue that. So it's like a lot of people that are like that, because they know it, they're always on guard. They're always like trying to protect their identity, protect themselves from, people getting too close to them. But Windom welcomed everybody, We did a house show in Miami Christmas week during the Christmas tour, and his whole family was there. His kids were there, JoJo was there, and they were talking about the wedding that they were going to have and the house they had just been working on for so long and how happy they were. And I had my buddy Brent Grimes, who's former NFL player, 4-time Pro Bowler. I had him backstage with his son and his mom, and they were so not like he didn't know Brent at all. Like his family didn't know Brent at all. They didn't know him from a hole in the wall, but they treated him like they knew him forever. He was just such a kind person, and he would do that for not just me. He did that for everybody.
Yeah.